Hi everyone, I'm CO. I mostly play a lot of UFO 50 Bingo and do some UFO 50 speedruns. But for Cherry Rush, in addition to hopefully Warp Tank speedrun that I get done before tomorrow, I'm also going to be showing off a couple of exits of my upcoming Super Mario World hack, bunbun 4. I've made a series of Kaizo ROM hacks for my wife, Princess Bunbun, who
Hi.
is right here. And this will be the fourth installment of a series that I've been working on since 2018 or so.
Yeah.
And this one is much more direct in its influence with UFO 50 and how much it's meant to me as a game designer and player. So starting off, when we're playing through most of the game, for I want to say the first like 20-ish exits or so, the game will basically be split into a gold disc route and a cherry disc route. The gold disc routes of each level is going to be a level idea that's pretty heavily checkpointed, but because it's pretty heavily checkpointed, it allows me to get away with some stuff that at first glance looks a little harder than some of the other stuff I've released. I was also influenced between SMW Kaizo hacks by Super Mario Bros. 2, where I ended up making a hack called Bunny Bunny Panic. And one of the things that influenced me most about Super Mario Bros. 2 was directional spikes, which mean that I can run into the side of a lot of these spikes, or even like touch the bottom of them, and it won't hurt you at all, which is pretty nice because it allows you to get away with some stuff that looks a little tighter visually, but actually plays much nicer than it looks. I meant to move that checkpoint back, but that's fine. So one thing that's, I guess, pretty interesting about this run that I mentioned in a failed take that I just talked over, I am most likely going to be both the runner and definitely the designer of this, because I want to be able to show this off, and also because I've been working on the hack, I should be able to edit it really however we need to for Cherry Rush if this gets in. Like if we end up needing to have safety saves or whatever in a couple of spots, we can do that. If there's certain level design that seems to be a little too tight in some areas, or you get worried about or whatever, we can fix that too. I have been working on this hack for about 2 years now, and it's pretty close to release, so I do feel pretty happy with where the level design is at and stuff, but I did want to throw out there that we have unlimited range to tweak stuff on account of I'm the person who designed it all. So you'll notice that the theme of that level was a bunch of transparent colored blocks and some kind of momentum-based platforms and swinging platforms. The gold and cherry variants of each level will share those same themes, but kind of explore them in a different way. When I was playing through UFO 50, one of the things that influenced me most, I would say, is how differently some of the games played between gold and cherry versions of everything, and how differently, like, just doing things slightly differently, even with the same stuff, could feel totally different. So I wanted to bring that over to Super Mario World. There's also not really many hacks in Super Mario World, especially at the Kaizo difficulty, that are willing to like take the same level idea and kind of just do it again but different. So I kind of wanted to challenge myself with design this time around and see if I could do that. I originally told myself I wasn't gonna design a full Kaizo hack unless I had reason to after bunbun 3, and that felt like a good enough reason to be able to expand it out into a full thing. So the main difference between I gotta move that rock over. The main difference between... Okay, ignore that ending because all those sprites should be slightly farther over to the left. I had to tweak a little bit of stuff to get it to cut down, but all of that will be synced up and look nice and stuff. But one of the differences between the gold and cherry variants of each level, as you might have seen, is that the gold variants will have a lot of checkpoints and be pretty focused in those checkpoints, and the cherry levels will not have checkpoints and be more of a challenge of like endurance with those same obstacles, with the difficulty obviously scaled accordingly to make sure that I'm not like just making a really hard level that's also really long, for instance, because that's pretty important to me. One of the things that's nice about Super Mario World design, especially for Kaizo stuff, is that you can be pretty flexible with how tight stuff goes, and I try to design stuff as loose as possible just to kind of focus on the fun stuff of Kaizo. And one of the ways I wanted to do that was, towards the end of this design, was start to make the UFO 50 influence a little bit more on the nose. The gold and cherry variants of each level was, at one point in design, like, the most direct the influence of UFO 50 got. But as I got towards the end of design, honestly I thought of the joke name for a level of 1F050. And 1F0, for those that don't know, was a common design tile in Super Mario World, Kaizo stuff, and obviously UFO 50. So after I thought of that, I realized that I needed to make a UFO 50 themed level. And then as I started trying to explore the ideas that I could actually do in Super Mario World, I realized that Campanella 1 and the next game that I will be showing off were two of the ones that translated over the best. For a lot of these designs, I did actually end up having to draw the graphics myself for translating them into Super Mario World. These stripey blocks are part of a tile set that I already had available. But all of the other graphics that you're seeing in this level were all drawn by me and imported. And then for replicating World 2 of Camp 1, I wanted to add the Layer 3 Tidewater, and then also try to replicate the blocks that kill you when you hover over them. I found these blocks that do this, which is pretty interesting, and I'm kind of intentionally showing off what it looks like when you die in this level, because it's kind of more interesting when you die in this level. But these blocks, for some reason, remember your previous path that you took on a previous life. So as we go through this room again, the path that I took last time is actually blocked off over here, which forces you to end up having to take a different path through it. And when I grabbed these blocks off of SMW Central originally, I wasn't really expecting that, but it leads to a kind of fun replay of these rooms. It's not exactly the way that they work in Campanella 1, but yeah. As kind of expected, this is a loose translation of the game physics and stuff into Super Mario World. I mostly wanted to do these levels as pixel art practice, actually, because a lot of my other Super Mario World fan games, I guess I don't know if I should be saying hacks on stream, but the other Super Mario World stuff that I've designed is all had graphics that were like already built or made by other people. So I wanted to challenge myself on this one and actually try some of my own design and own graphics and stuff, and it ended up being pretty fun. And another thing about the Camp 1 gameplay that I wanted to try to replicate, obviously in Campanella 1 you just have a limited amount of lives and have to get through all 50 levels in like one continue, basically. Working with lives in a Kaizo setting is kind of difficult, so instead of replicating that part, I basically just made it so the first half of the level you're working through a couple of one-screen rooms in a row, and then in the second half of the level you're working through a couple of short but not exactly one-screen rooms. They end up being about as long as the one-screen rooms, honestly, but... Okay. So coming up on the end of the Campanella P balloon level, I was torn when I was designing this on if I wanted to have the player go through all 5 worlds of Campanella 1, but something I learned kind of a while ago in Kaizo design is sometimes it's better to have a level that leaves people wanting more. So I decided if people really wanted their own special P-balloon gimmicks, I'd leave a little bit of design ideas out there for the people. And finally, you can't really have a Campanella level that doesn't end in the basketball. So part 2 of 1F050 is my take on Velgrus. First of all, shoutouts to Circle Friendo for this double jump ASM, where basically if you do one jump and then switch over to the other jump, you get a double jump. This takes a little bit of getting used to, but it also allows you to do Super Mario World regrabs while still having access to a double jump. Which, when you end up playing a level with double jump, is like one of the first things as a player that you kind of end up missing a lot of the time. So Circle thankfully solved that. Circle solves a lot of problems in Super Mario World, so wanted to give her a shout out because this is not the only Circle Friendo ASM we'll be seeing. That plant doesn't normally get me like that, that's okay. So in terms of time estimate, I guess as a heads up, I was designing this pretty late into tonight due to a memory issue that was causing the next level to freak out a little bit. So if this ends up getting submitted into Cherry Rush, the run through itself will likely look a little bit more fluid. The level design should stay pretty much the same as it is here. There's one part of the upcoming level that I may end up tweaking, just because I didn't super love it in my playtest tonight, but that's okay. Everything else I am very happy with. Obviously this is a fan game I've been working on for a couple of years now, and I'm really excited to show it off. And I think one of the things that's excited me most about it is how many UFO 50 friends have also been excited about the level design for it, especially as we have started to design more of the like Velgrus MW and Campanella levels and stuff. So I think it would be pretty fun to show off. I think this is something that fits the vibe of Cherry Rush 2 pretty well, with alternate game submissions. I am hopefully also, I guess just working this in here as well, I'm hopefully also going to be able to submit a Warping run. That will likely come in tomorrow after work, because this was taking me a little bit longer than I thought, and it's already 10. But it's more important that I get this submission in guaranteed, and then if I can get Warp Tank in tomorrow, that would be nice too. But as I mentioned in the Campanella level, I drew these graphics and imported them into Super Mario World. The double jump and the disappearing blocks were courtesy of smwcentral.net, which is a fantastic resource for all of this hacking stuff that provided like all the music and stuff and a lot of the custom stuff you get to see in other levels. Just wanted to throw that out there here, but this hack has definitely been a good love project of a lot of aspects of Super Mario World design that I've personally always wanted to get better at, and now that I've been in it for almost 8 years now, definitely wanted to also bring in my love of UFO 50 and show how much it positively influenced my game design and stuff. And I guess it's also worth mentioning, since I was designing this pretty late, and also because I didn't think to ask anyone for help with the submission before everyone was at Games Done Quick this month, there's a chance that someone may join me on the couch and help explain some of the Super Mario World side of this a bit. And if that's the case, I would basically fill in with the UFO 50 stuff as needed. But yeah, I think this could be pretty fun. I've been working on Super Mario World stuff for a while, and I think Super Mario World stuff in really any charity marathon seems to do pretty well. But especially when it's showcasing stuff in a Kaizo setting, and especially when that Kaizo has something that people haven't seen before. And the only thing that people have seen of this hack outside of like my playtesting streams and my playtesters testing streams is an early beta version of Save Stated Sanctuary from probably like a year and a half ago at this point. So all of this would be pretty much brand new content for Cherry Rush specifically. I don't know why I didn't get my double jump there.
There could also be some color commentary if that is wanted or needed.
That's true. Bun has been color commentary on many a UFO 50 bingo match that I've casted at this point, so...
Or I could just stay out of it if that's... like,
but
whatever is preferred.
the hack is made, as all the other bunbun and bunbun worlds are, for my wife, Princess Bunbun. We'll actually be seeing her in the hack in just a little bit if I can get my butt out of the
It's named after me and I am in it, so...
Yeah. Okay. This is probably the hardest trick of the level.
So, like, do you even know who I am?
Rule of Kaizo, if you just say a trick is really hard, then you'll normally get it. And then if you ever acknowledge anything of the other ways, you'll instantly die.
If you acknowledge you're doing well in any way, shape, or form, you die. You will not continue to do well.
So one of my favorite things about designing Velgrass MW is... Thank you. Is trying to figure out how to actually adapt the gameplay of each biome into the levels. So for the squid segment, I obviously redrew the bubbles to be able to pop. I also tried to use charging chucks in... Oh, that camera wasn't supposed to scroll that high. That's okay. As I mentioned at the start of this, I was dealing with some kind of complicated memory leaks from the final level that have since been resolved, but all these very minor things like that camera scroll at the very end will definitely be fixed before Cherry Rush. It'll likely, honestly, probably be fixed tomorrow, but I just want to make sure that this submission has the video in time. Also, shout out to the artist that made this Super Mario World track that we're listening to. I will have a proper credits level in the time Cherry Rush actually goes live for this. But this is like a 13-minute port. And you can definitely tell because it just feels like it's never looping, which is a very nice feeling to have in a bit of a kind of longer Kaizo level.
That is nice.
Yeah. during testing of this specific segment, I had the exact opposite of that happen, where I had a level track that like didn't loop at all. And it was like very obvious when I had been in the level for any amount of time, and then it like stressed me out way more. Okay, so coming up on the final obstacle of this level, I messed it up because I was trying to talk through it. But basically I wanted to replicate Velgress as closely as I could, so obviously that included all 4 biomes, and trying to make each of them feel distinct from each other. I was debating having some replica of a Charcus fight in this at the very end, but I realized it would probably be more fun to have a platforming boss sort of thing. So combining all the ideas of the level at the very end, we have the Bowser statue spitting fire, and a Net Koopa going back and forth. And if we just wait, like I didn't do last time, go boop, 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 boop. Okay. Now coming up on the final level, I believe that this is going to be the final level in the Cherry Rush submission. I was debating adding another UFO 50 themed level, but perhaps even bigger than my UFO 50 influence is my Super Mario Bros. 2 influence that I picked up between bunbun 3 and bunbun 4. So I figured it would be fun to show off the potential of Super Mario Bros. 2 by having a level that, again, kind of highlights the game I'm trying to show I love so much. So this is my tribute level to Super Mario Bros. 2. Most of these graphics, if I remember correctly, were, or at least in this segment, were already here. I forget exactly who drew them, but this tile set, I believe, was on SMW Central already. But some of the stuff we'll see later into the level I had to draw as well. So this game, I think, perhaps more than any other, has had more like custom stuff from me specifically, which is pretty cool. Yeah. And Bun actually hasn't seen too much of bunbun 4, so a lot of her reactions here are her finding out about this stuff for the first time with y'all. So, as I mentioned in the Velgress level, Circle Friendo has created quite a lot of really cool custom stuff in Super Mario World. And in my opinion, one of the coolest things she's done is created the Mario and Friends ASM, which allows players ability to basically assign characters to levels, and those characters will have their own custom physics as well as their own custom action with the A button. So we see here in this segment that Luigi is much floatier than Mario was, and also has a little bit of a ground pound to be able to catch up to stuff faster and also kill enemies. So very, very cool. One of my favorite things that Super Mario World has ever had, honestly, because you can do some really cool stuff with it. Circle Friendo, Hammer Justice, and I actually have designed 2 standard hacks around this idea, and they're pretty fun. If you're ever curious, they're the Mario and Friends series, where you have a bunch of different characters and themed areas that you go through, and I wanted to bring that basically back to this project and tie it into a Super Mario Bros. 2 tribute level, because one of the most fun parts of that game is getting to play through Mario platforming with a bunch of different characters and seeing which character would be better for which areas and stuff. So this segment, and I believe the next segment, are the ones that I had to draw graphics for. I know for sure it was this one. I don't remember offhand, actually, if I had to draw a ton of custom stuff for the next one. But I was very happy to be able to draw some custom stuff, and this level actually gave me the confidence to be able to transfer that over to UFO 50 pixel art stuff and getting Velgress and Campanella down. So thankfully, because of this level, I was also able to have the more direct influences for 1FO50. So here we see Bunbun. Bunbun is here. Bunbun has the power of a little flight like that. In my opinion, it's the most fun of these powers, and I wanted to give it to my wife. Shout out to the Board Game Man for the custom sprite of Bun that we got to use in Bunbun 3 that we're carrying over into Bunbun 4. And then the final segment of this level and of the showcase, throwing all of these ideas together. One of the coolest things that Circle was able to do for the last Mario and Friends is create these checkpoint bars that force swap your characters. So we're able to have jumps that combine all of the different characters together, and even force specific swaps mid-jump to be able to do some pretty cool stuff with it. I think this is very unexplored, honestly, and can lead to some cool stuff. And again, this is not something that's very common even in Super Mario World Kaizo, so I think it would be pretty fun to be able to show off. And from my understanding, unless the playtest copy got more attention than I noticed, this should be pretty much brand new to anyone that's watching it, outside of like my 2 playtesters that have gotten this far. So I think being able to have brand new Super Mario World content to show off should be pretty fun, especially with how direct the UFO 50 influence of it is. Well, that's not what I meant to do. That was almost what I meant to do. I apologize for this play of the submission being a little rustier than I would have liked. But for some reason, when I was designing this level and testing it tonight before what I was hoping was going to be a couple hours of practice, the Luigi graphics specifically for some reason kept bugging out, and it wasn't until about a half hour ago that I got everything working again. So by the time Cherry Rush rolls around, all of the loose ends will be tightened up, and I'll definitely have more time to have practiced the specific levels and stuff again. But overall, I am pretty happy with the direction that this hack's taken, and I'm definitely very happy with the direction that the UFO 50 influence of it has had. Because originally, like I mentioned, it was just going to be like the gold cherry splits of levels, and then through a little bit more creative of usage of custom stuff that was already available, and some custom graphics that I had to make by myself, we were able to come up with a pretty cool end of this project, I think.
Well, it's been cool to see all of your UFO 50 friends stop by.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're designing the Velgress level, and they're like, oh yeah, this is definitely Velgress.
Yeah, the Velgress level was Amber approved, and that's saying
And, you know,
something.
they may not be very familiar with Super Mario World, but they're definitely familiar with Velgress.
Yeah. Also, there's a chance that that Birdo fight specifically gets updated a little bit, but otherwise, I think the level design is pretty much going to stay exactly where it is here. But okay, that took about almost exactly a half hour. So I am aiming for the submission to be about a half hour for the actual submission time. Realistically, I would get this practice to more of the 25-minute range, especially just talking through levels and stuff. As Bun mentioned, I am very willing and excited to have Bun on as color commentary if y'all would have us. I think...
You can take or leave me, though. That's not a deal breaker.
It's not a deal breaker, but Bun and I do play off each other well, as you might imagine, so... I am also willing and able to get other people of the Super Mario World community in on this if this gets in. Not to flex that as much, I guess, but I do happen to know a lot of people in the Super Mario World community.
Lots of friends.
So if that was something that got in here and I asked about it, I'm sure we could get a lot of Super Mario World eyes on Cherry Rush. Which, honestly, I think there's a pretty big crossover between the Super Mario World crowd and the UFO 50 crowd.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So this is my bunbun 4 5 exit submission. Most of the other levels of bunbun 4 that weren't shown off here today are the same gold and cherry split variants of each level. So even though this is about a 26 exit hack when all is said and done, really about like 10 of the levels are same ideas but executed a bit differently and stuff. So hopefully this ends up playing like a pretty fun hack, and hopefully this submission got your eye, I guess. I apologize again for not getting this in sooner, but we had a bit of tech issues that we were working through. They're worked through now, and outside of very minor edits that I am willing and able to make to really anything that's here, this should be pretty much good to go as is in about a month and a half or so. So yeah, thanks, and I'll submit this with an estimate of about a half hour, I think. If it ends up needing to come down in estimate time, I'm willing to do that. If we end up wanting it to just be me on cast, I'm also willing to do that. I would love to have Bun on if we can, just because the bunbun series has been something that I've made specifically for Bun for a while now, and Bun does have a cherry to her name, so...
Party house!
There's no party house to commentate in this game, unfortunately. I couldn't figure out how to get a deck builder into Super Mario World, but hopefully Velgress and Campanella 1 will suffice.
Good luck!
Thanks. Okay, so we'll put a marker there. That was almost exactly a half hour. I'll have the estimate for that be a half hour, and then most likely we'll train that down into the 20-25 minute range. Yeah, I think that worked well. I'll get that up tonight and get that portion of the submission in tonight. And then if I have time to de-rust Warp Tank tomorrow, we'll de-rust Warp Tank tomorrow and get a submission for that as well. I guess I could probably just submit my Warp Tank Cherry and work on de-rusting it after, but